sun is shining brighter every. If we stick together, we'll chase all the clouds away. The sun is shining brighter every day. When we're singing in the sunshine, laughing in the pouring rain, gonna have a good time. Everybody, it's a sunshine day. Things are getting better. Things are getting better every day. Things are getting better every day. If we stick together, everything's gonna be okay. Things are getting better every day. Yeah, we're singing in the sunshine, laughing in the pouring rain, gonna have a good time. Everybody, it's a sunshine day. Things are getting better every day. Things are getting better every day. If we love each other, everything's gonna be okay. Things are getting better, and the sun is shining brighter. Things are getting better every day. Yeah. So that's our song on this new record. So positive, I didn't know what to do with it, just to put it out. I felt like if I sang it enough, I would actually maybe believe it. And I know that sounds strange, but when there's a day every once in a while where you feel like things are not getting better, and then I just sing that song, and then I have to, I got to behave right, I got to act right. So I'd like to do a song that's not on my new album. I'd like to do a song that's on the what turned out to be the final Jimmy Buffett studio album, and this is an album called Equal Strain on All Parts. I wrote songs and played on albums and sang together with Jimmy Buffett over the course of about 20 years, between 2003 and 2023, and one of the great joys of my life was getting to write with songs with Jimmy Buffett, and this is one of the last songs that we wrote together, and of course also one of the last songs that he wrote at all. And talk about somebody who went out of this world with joy and grace, and making other people feel good while he was in the process of leaving the world. It's a pretty amazing thing. And I got to be around him some of that time. And so I'd like to do this tune called Bubbles Up that we wrote together. And we had to write over the phone. We got on FaceTime, and we got on the phone, and we went back and forth because we couldn't be together because he was in the middle of chemo. And he was 3 years into it. And so Jimmy called me up December 2022 and said, "Are you ready for some homework?" And I knew that meant, "Are you ready to write some songs?" And I said, "I sure am." And even though it was Christmas time and I didn't exactly know when we were going to have time to write, that's what we did. We wrote 5 songs around the Christmas holidays of 2022. And then I finally had an afternoon free to write songs, December 19th, 2022, and I sat down and I sketched out 3 songs from these ideas that Jimmy sent me, and they're all on the album, and then we ended up writing 2 more, and actually with together, and then with folks from Canada and folks from Africa as well. So it's a real global project, and but this is probably my favorite, and and this is a song called Bubbles Up, and that is a reference to, we do refer to champagne in the song, because after all, it is a Jimmy Buffett song, but it comes from the Navy diving course that he took, when, as my friend Mac McAnally says, when he was a fully grown old man, the Navy let him take the diving course, and one of the final tests they do is they put all your scuba diving kit on you, and they drop you out of a helicopter into the ocean. And of course, you sink quite a bit down into the ocean because you got all those weights on you, and you also turn somersaults in the water. And so they always tell you before you jump out of that helicopter, bubbles up, folks, bubbles up. Follow the bubbles up to the surface. And this was Jimmy's song idea. He said when somebody is struggling, they need a friend to take them and turn them in the right direction, to go to the light, go to the air, go to the surface where human beings belong. And one of the things that I was able to use when writing this first sketch of the song was the work I do with combat veterans and first responders with the Boulder Crest Foundation and Songwriting with Soldiers, which is called Post-Traumatic Growth. And it's a program that says the trauma you've experienced can make you stronger, but you have to learn to do some new things. And one of the things is tell your story. And one of the things we do is once folks have told their story to each other, then a songwriter will come in and turn those words into a song, listen without judgment. So I was doing that with Jimmy Buffett that day, I realized. I was listening to him tell this story, and I was thinking, is he talking about himself because he's struggling with his health? Is he talking about a family member, a friend? I didn't know. I didn't ask. I just sat down and sketched out this tune, and when I sent it to him, he sent me back a text, and I memorized it instantly. He said, wow, Bubbles Up is great. I can't wait to work on the lyrics. This is going to be a good one. So anyway, and one of the markers along the way was that we loved Dwayne Allman. Y'all know Dwayne Allman? He was in the Allman Brothers Band, played slide guitar. And so he's one of our heroes, and Jimmy got to see him early in his career, and he said, remember when Dwayne would play acoustic slide guitar every once in a while, how beautiful that was? We need that in the song. And I said, yes, we're going to do that. So I tuned my guitar up to open E, just like Dwayne. And then we wrote the song in basically waltz time, and that is a reference to Jimmy's, one of his early albums, Living and Dying in Three-Quarter Time. So this is a song written and for somebody who's struggling and how a friend can help them out. Bubbles Up. When this world starts a-reeling from that pressure drop feeling, we're just treading water each day. There's a way to feel better, be well set to weather the storms till the sun shines again. When your compass is spinning and you're lost on the way, like a leaf in the wind, friend, hear me when I say, bubbles up, they will point you toward home. No matter how deep or how far you roam, they will show you the surface, the plot and the purpose. So when the journey gets long, just know that you are loved. There is light up above, and joy, there is always enough. Well, bubbles up. Well, to my friends who were jolly when melancholy knocks, sometimes they let her in. They sit and share stories of flops and of glory, and it ain't half as bad as the bends. Sometimes living is a struggle, multiplied double, but they love it too much for the party to end. Bubbles up, they will point you toward home. No No matter how deep, how far you roam, they will show you the surface, the plot and the purpose. So when the journey gets long, just know that you are loved. There is light up above, and the joy is always enough. Bubbles up. So let's pop a cork to the rough and the right, to the bright blazing days and the sweet starry nights. Bubbles up, they will point us towards home. No matter how deep, how far we roam, they will show you the surface, the plot and the purpose. So when the journey gets long, just know that you are loved. There is light up above, and joy, there is always enough. Bubbles up. Bubbles up.
You are listening to East Tennessee's own WDVX. We're here live at the Blue Plate Special with Will Kimbrough. And Will has a lot of stuff out in this world music-wise, but his latest release is For the Life of Me, which came out in May, correct, Will?
Yeah, it came out May 3rd.
And I must say, features the merchandise for this latest record is probably some of the most adorable merchandise I have seen in a while. It features Will's dog, LB, who I'm trying to remember he's part Chihuahua, but also part
Catahoula leopard dog.
Yeah. And so we were looking at pictures earlier. Quite an adorable doggo. For those of you here today, there is some available over at the merchandise table. But tell folks a little bit about what's going on in your world as far as music and music making.
Yeah, so I started finishing this new album, and right around that time, Mr. Buffett was not doing so well. We were going to go to New Orleans in July and play some of these new songs we had written on WWOZ, the flagship radio station of Jazz Fest, and then it got canceled at the last minute, and his health went downhill, and he passed away on September 1st. So all of a sudden, the song Bubbles Up came out, and it really got a response from people, I think emotionally, because it came out, the type of song it was that I just played. And so I kept working on getting my record out, but at the same time, there was this tide of love for Jimmy Buffett and all the things he had been doing. And since I've been part of that, it was something that I got to talk about a lot and got to play my song. And so I also do that work with combat vets and first responders, and I'm on the road 50, 60, 70 days a year doing that work because it goes on and on. There's such a need for it. The program keeps growing, and we work from Seattle to Maine to Florida to California and all points in between. And so I'll be doing that in a couple of weeks. We also played Jazz Fest with the Coral Reefer Band, and so we got to play, a bunch of songs that I helped write, and I got to play with Sonny Landreth and Trombone Shorty and Irma Thomas and the Preservation Hall Jazz Band at Jazz Fest, and that was a blast. I mean, went from playing in front of 40,000 people and singing Brown Eyed Girl and Margaritaville, and songs I wrote like Piece of Work and the University of Bourbon Street, to go into Preservation Hall that night, which really is supposed to hold 50 people, but on the last night of Jazz Fest holds as many people as they can cram in there, and there's no air conditioning. So it's like going back in time. Everybody's sweating and dancing, and when we ended the night, it was like a second line. We played the University of Bourbon Street, which is a song I wrote with Jimmy, and the Preservation Hall Jazz Band played on the album, and so did I. So it was a reunion. We sang the song. We all marched off the stage and did a second line out into the French Quarter, and that was the end of Jazz Fest. So I've been doing a lot. I also play with Emmylou Harris, and we're leaving Monday for Colorado to play Aspen, Steamboat Springs, and Denver with Emmylou Harris and the Red Dirt Boys, which is her band that I've been working with for about 10 or 12 years. So I'm probably the luckiest person in the world in my book. You know, I got to work with Buffett. I get to work with Emmylou. I get to work with combat vets and first responders and write songs using their words. And I get to have my own career as a musician. And I get to produce Shamika Copeland, who's one of the best blues singers that ever lived. So it just goes on. I'm a busybody, you know. And I got a really cute dog named Larry Billy Bob, Alabama Kimbrough. So, and I've also got a daughter who graduated from UT Knoxville and a daughter who graduated from App State over there in North Carolina. And so I got grown, awesome kids and an awesome wife who's another graduate of UT. So I got a lot going on.
Speaking of a lot going on, if you happen to be out in Asheville tomorrow, he'll be playing at Sundays on the River in Olivet, up in Kentucky on the 23rd of June. Lots going on. The best way to keep up is to go on the website at willkimbrough.com or on Instagram at will_Kimbrough, and that's Kimbrough, to make sure that you're looking for the right Kimbrough. But for now, we're going to back on out of the way and get some more music from Will right here on East Tennessee's own WDVX Blue Plate Special.
Okay, so this is the first song on the album, Walking in the Valley of the Shadow. And I was just thinking about that feeling. I was reading about some folks, and I had met some other folks who had at one point moved to the United States from a country that was very war-torn, and so I was listening to them tell their story. And so in that same spirit of listening to people tell their story and trying to write down what they say without judgment and try to tell the story a little bit, I couldn't help but think about the song "The Weight" by the band, because I love Levon Helm. We were talking about Levon earlier. And I got to tell you, folks, when I got up here today, the first thing I saw was David Olney, and then I saw Malcolm Holcomb, and then I thought about Jimmy Buffett, and I thought those are three of the best songwriters I've ever known. Now, two of them are on these blue plates, and they've all passed on. Malcolm passed on very recently, and he was from over there in North Carolina, so. From the Appalachian, North Carolina, Malcolm Holcomb, and David Olney, who Townes Van Zandt said when they asked him to name a contemporary living songwriter that he liked, he said, besides Bob Dylan, David Olney. He was my neighbor in Nashville. So I'll send this out to all my friends who are wandering in the afterlife. There's so many of them now as we get older, but one of the things my mama says, she's 86 years old, she says, I miss the people that we've lost, including my daddy, her husband, but because we had them with us in our life, we can remember them, and that makes me happy. So I take that point of view, especially if people get to live a decently long life. So, well, I'm walking in the valley of the shadow, I have no cause for fear, but I can hear the devil whisper in my ear. Maybe it's the night wind howling. See, I ain't from around here. Walking in the valley of the shadow, I have no cause for fear. How long must I wander? How long must I roam? Why I was cast asunder, I don't know. Well, I guess I must have said the wrong thing to the wrong rich man in Rome. Walking in the valley of the shadow, I have no need to roam. But I've been walking in the valley of the shadow, shame. I did nothing wrong, still the trouble came. You know that walking in the straight and narrow is a long walk just the same. Walking in the valley of the shadow, I have no cause for shame. Burn in the sun all day, and I freeze when the sun goes down. See, there ain't a lot of drinking water anywhere around. I hope I can make Damascus by the light of the breaking dawn. Burning in the sun all day, freezing when the sun goes down. 'Cause I've been walking in the valley of the shadow, I have no need to mourn. I've been walking holes in my shoes and my clothes are torn. I know I will rest in glory, but for now I'm moving on. Walking in the valley of the shadow, and I have no cause to mourn. Well, I'm walking in the valley of the shadow, and I'm just praying for a little rain. I wonder why the high and the mighty cause a poor folks pain. Now I know there's no answer, but I'm asking just the same. Walking in the valley of the shadow, praying for a little rain. Well, I've been walking in the valley of the shadow, praying for a little rain. Yeah, I've been walking in the valley of the shadow, praying for a little rain. This next one's a little bit mysterious. I wrote this with a friend of mine from Scotland. He's from Edinburgh. His name's Dean Owens. And beautiful voice, got that high tenor Celtic voice that reminds me of where my people came from that ended up in Alabama. And he's from the southern part of Scotland. So in Scotland, you know, which is right up at the north end of England, if you're from Edinburgh, you think of yourself as a southerner, even though you're right around the same latitude as you know, Oslo or something like that, Norway. So I thought that was an interesting perspective, being from lower Alabama, and then my friend from southern Scotland talking about being a southerner. But it's true. So, this is called Southern Wind. City late, leave the light on, falling now, fading fast. I was young at the wrong time. Now I can face home at last. Southern wind blowing, southern wind howl. Feel the wind blowing, the southern wind. withering on the vine, autumn light fading fast. Now it's all on the line, leaving here southern bound. Southern wind blowing, southern wind howl, southern wind blowing, southern city late, keep the light on, but I'm all ready gone. Yeah. Southern wind blowing, southern wind howl, southern wind blowing, southern all right. Thank you so much. I'm going to do the title track to the record, and it's always a surprise to put out new music and find out what folks respond to. And this one's gotten a real emotional response. And really, it's a song about a prayer for togetherness. And it's looking at myself as well as other folks, you know. It's like taking a look at how you're acting in the world in addition to how other folks are. So if it's any finger pointing, it's looking in the mirror and pointing the finger at myself. So this is called For the Life of Me. Wrote this one morning, not too long ago, probably after watching the news. And it's a song had a lot of love in my heart for other people, and that's what this is about. For the life of me, I can't see the world the way you do. But I'd bet $1,000 it's the same damn way from me to you. And it's probably just a circle that the sad old human race is cursed to walk. The irony that we are simply animals who learn to drive and talk. Now I greet each new sunrise delightedly, while you look down your nose ever spitefully. I have searched high and low, trying so hard to see, but I cannot understand for the life of me. Now you see blue and I see black, it's empathy we lack and claim to want, while the history we seem doomed to repeat is here to terrify and haunt. For the life of me, I cannot sympathize with your beliefs, nor you with mine. We would rather fiddle while the whole thing burns. Yeah, brother, that's just fine. Now I greet each new sunrise delightedly, while you look down your nose ever spitefully. I have searched high and low, trying so hard to see, but I cannot understand for the life of me. You may search high and low, trying so hard to see, while I look down my nose ever spitefully. Though you search high and low, trying so hard to see, we cannot understand. I cannot understand. You cannot understand for the life of me.
You are listening to East Tennessee's own WDVX Blue Plate Special, real live music coming at you from right here in downtown Knoxville. Support for WDVX Blue Plate Special comes from Visit Knoxville, Barley's in the Old City, the Tennessee Arts Commission, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and of course, as always, from listeners just like you. We have, oh man, so much good stuff coming up here at WDVX. This upcoming week of Blue Plate specials include Newfound Gap and Sarah Gale Meach on June 17th. June 18th finds Lightning Charlie in a twin bill with Chris Castle. The Wednesday 19th, we see Scott Clay. Thursday features Noel McKay in a twin bill with Josh Morningstar. And on Friday, the Big Plate down at Barley's features My Brother's Keeper. Upcoming kids stuff will be July 13th. It will be the Blue Ridge Gathering right here for the kid and kid at heart at the Visit Knoxville Visit Center. So there's lots going on. Make sure to check out WDVX.com for more information and for more stuff coming up. But for now, we're going to turn it right back over to Will for more music right here on the Blue Plate Special.
Yes, indeed. I'm very glad to be here with y'all in Knoxville, and I'll be in Asheville tomorrow. And then if you happen to be in Aspen, Colorado on the 18th, it'll be with Emmylou Harris. And then over in Steamboat Springs and Denver as well. So, but I'm going to be in the Cincinnati area, Newport, Kentucky on the 23rd, doing another record release show at the Southgate House. So this is a song that I wrote at the neonatal intensive care ward in a private room when my youngest daughter, who just graduated from UT, was born, and she was born a few weeks early, so she had to stay in the NICU. And I'd just like to say this too, if you are a NICU nurse or you know one, please give them a hug for me, because they are angels on this earth. They show parents of little bitty babies who are born too early and that are small and have some challenges, that those babies are also resilient, and that they need to be touched and held. And we had 2 premature babies who are, one of which is about to go to graduate school, one of which is about to get married and working in Atlanta. And so, but we started with those NICU nurses. So I'm not playing. If you know a NICU nurse, give them a hug. And if you are one, thank you for what you do. It's amazing work that you do. But I wrote these lyrics down, believe it or not, in the bathroom there, because we were picking up our youngest daughter the next morning. She was going to be big enough to go home. In the state of Tennessee, you got to be 4.5 pounds to go home and ride the ride of life. And so I made this one up there. And luckily, I wrote it down on some hand towels there in the bathroom, those paper towels, because that's all I had. I didn't take a notebook and a guitar to my daughter's neonatal intensive care unit. So I silently wrote a song in my mind and wrote the words down. Luckily, I didn't wash that piece of paper in the laundry. And so when I got home, I knew how it was supposed to go. And so I sang it, recorded it into a little cassette, and I recorded it later. And that was when that guy named Jimmy Buffett, who we all love and miss, called me up and said, I met you with Todd Snyder at Tipitina's in New Orleans back in '97. I said, I know who you are. You don't have to explain yourself. But he said, why don't you send me some music? And so I sent him some music. And the next thing I know, 6 months later, we're in the studio in Key West, and we're recording an album called License to Chill. And this song is on that record. We didn't record it till the last day. One of the producers, the great Mac McAnally, called me and said, that morning in my hotel room, he said, now, Will, we're going to record your song today. And so make sure you know how it goes when we get there so you can show us how to play it. So we worked it out. And that started a 20-year writing and recording relationship with Jimmy Buffett and the Coral Reefer Band. So just want to tell a little context of this song. So, and when my grandfather-in-law, the great Mort Dorchin of the Lower East Side of Manhattan and later of South Florida, said to me, he said, "Piece of work, Will, that's from Shakespeare, isn't it?" I said, "Yes, sir, it is," even though it wasn't. But it is from, What a Piece of Work is Man, from William Shakespeare. So we get phrases from places we don't even know we got them from. I'm a piece of work, I'm iron and lace, shy right up there in your face. All dumbfounded, stubborn as an ass, sharp as an arrow in a pile of glass. A sweetheart, genius, reckless jerk, and Lord have mercy, what a piece of work. Well, the Lord made me on a long thin limb, made sure I'd remember him. Her in the middle of a long dark night creation, crazy death sheet white, made in the image of a lion-shot lamb. I am who the hell I am, ever, better, bad, the worst, is set down to the letter on the piece of work. I'm a dreadful sight and I just don't care. Spent all morning pulling out my hair. Woke at dawn with a crazy spin. I was half the day trying to glue back in. And Mother, Bloody Mary, please wipe that smile right off your knees. I'm the CEO of the mailroom clerk. Said, good God Almighty, what a piece of work. I'm a piece of work, I'm a lovesick boy. for cloth, cap, caviar, and corduroy. All over the map, but just lost in space with a building mind and a choir boy's face. And heels up, head down, straight on through. Watch out, woman, I won't get to you. I'm a gladiator with a minder. Come on, I'll see you a little later. I'm a piece of work. These songs are on my albums too, so there's different versions of them out there. And that's on a record called Home Away that came out right around 9/11, 2001, and was really a record about choosing this life of music, which has been a wonderful thing, but also that really, once you have a marriage and a family, you realize you're going to be away a lot, and you can try to take your kids with you on the road, but at some point they got to have a life of their own, and that's worked out real well for us. My kids are, I think they're stronger and better because of the... Well, let me just put it to you this way. My youngest daughter, when she was about 7 years old, figured out the phrase when people would ask her kind of condescendingly, "Oh, do you miss your dad because he's on the road so much?" And she would say, "Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Familiarity breeds contempt," and their eyes would bug out of their head. And so I'm going to do one from that period of time. This is the first song I ever wrote with Mr. Buffett, and you know, I need to. I hate to say this, but when you lose people, you gotta talk about them, and you don't want to make people sad. But it's just like my mama says, we bring them up because we love them, and because it brings us joy to talk about them, not because we're trying to make people sad. But the folks on these walls, and also thinking about my friend Jimmy Buffett, Malcolm Holcomb over there, David Olney right here, and David Olney's manager was a woman named Mary Sack, and I know a lot of people that listen to WDVX were directly touched by Mary Sack because she was a manager. She managed David, she managed Tommy Womack, and she also put musicians together to write songs together. And that is really like the songwriter's best friend, somebody that connects you with people that you're going to do a good job writing songs with. It changes your life, makes you a better songwriter, and you make new friends. So she passed away just the other day. So Holcomb, Olney, Sack, Buffett, Jerry Jeff, they're having a ball in heaven. This is called Wings. I dedicate this to all of them. I've been up around the stratosphere, 31,000 feet. I'm gonna fly on out of here on wings that you can't see. And if you're ever gonna fly without fear, you're gonna have to learn to love the atmosphere, and you gotta learn to use those wings that you can't see. I've been skiing on the mountains of the moon all weekend long. I've been looking out for life on Mars and singing my favorite songs, yeah. All these things could be yours too, if you just take another point of view. Everybody's got a pair of wings that they can't see. I've got wings that you can't see. I have wheels on my feet. Hey, way up high, I feel so free. On these wings that you can't see. I don't need no plane ride, I don't need no airport line. I can hang around a treetop flyer level all day long. And now I'm looking down around on tiny cars, tiny swimmers swimming around pools in yards, all on account of these wings that you can't see. I got wings that you can't see. I have wheels on my feet. Well, high, baby, we'll be free. On these wings that you can't see. If you try and open up your mind, you might learn some things, yeah. God only knows what you might find floating on those wings. You can try to fly away from all your problems. Yeah, I'm here to tell you it's not the way to solve them. I can only help you with the wings. I can only help you with the wings. I can only help you with the wings that you can't see. Well, I got wings that you can't see. I have wheels on my feet. Well, high, baby, we'll be free. Come on, take a little taste of freedom high up in that cloudland kingdom. Take a little trip on the wings. Take a little trip on the wings. Take a little trip on the wings that you can't see. Hey, thank you so much. You know, being around, these plates are just making me think of these folks that I once rode for 10 hours in a tour bus with Malcolm Holcomb. He's right over here. If you ever want to hear an artist that has a unique voice, not just the singing voice, but their songwriting voice and the way they play music, that's I think a complete original artist, it would be Malcolm Holcomb. Nobody sounds like Malcolm. Although he is coming from the Appalachian tradition and the folk singing tradition, he's definitely from the mountains, and he's definitely a folk singer. He's definitely a storyteller, but he does it in his own way. Now, he's passed on very recently, so if you've never heard Malcolm Holcomb, go listen, because it's some of the best music you'll ever hear. Townes Van Zandt said Dave Olney was his favorite living songwriter, and David's gone on too. You know, David passed away during the second verse of a song at the 30A Songwriters Festival. He died with his boots on. It's pretty awesome. You know what I'm saying. So I think, see, I got to take the positive on that. It's like, well, he could have died in a hospital bed, and instead he passed away on stage singing a song. In fact, the story goes that he finished the second verse, and then he said sorry, and he was sitting there, and he didn't even drop his guitar. And actually, Scott Miller, who's from Knoxville, was the one that said, "Is there a doctor in the house?" So I just got to take humor from it. So I'm going to do a song that I wrote with my friend Tommy Womack, who's a preacher's kid from Western Kentucky, and he grew up playing in a band called Government Cheese out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. And then we've played together a lot and written a bunch of songs together that have been cut by Jimmy Buffett and cut by Todd Snyder and other people. But this is one we wrote for our parents, and his folks were son and daughter of sharecrop tobacco pickers from Western Kentucky, and my parents were from southwest Alabama near the Mississippi line, near Meridian, Mississippi. So this is called Nobody from Nowhere. And this is one that Jimmy Buffett recorded as well that I had already released and sent to him. And he listened to it in his car one day. He was driving up the old back way from Mobile, Alabama to Auburn, where he went to college for about 5 minutes in 1967. And he called me and he said, "Buddy, I'm Nobody from Nowhere. I'm recording that song. Tell your wife to order some new living room furniture." So I did. And but I like that he recognized himself in that you can be nobody from nowhere and go on to do great things, or just live a wonderful life and stay being nobody from nowhere, because you know what, that can be pretty cool too. So this song is about both of those things, about being perfectly happy to be out in the country with supposedly nothing to do, and also about wanting to maybe see the world as well. So this is called Nobody from Nowhere. Let me see. Let me for this. nobody from nowhere you would have ever heard of anyway. Ain't no city way down there you could have heard a pin drop any time of day. I'm not sorry, I'm not sad, though it might take a whole day just to drive out here and visit. Not too worried, it's not too bad, babe. There's nothing much to do, that ain't such a hardship really, is it? When you're waiting for a car to drive by just so you can wave hello, hello. And you're staring at a starry night sky 'cause you've been dreaming of some place that you got to go. Hello. Till that day comes, I'll be here, alone without a care. Nobody, nobody from nowhere. I'm nobody from nowhere you would have ever heard of anyhow. Ain't no reason you should care. There's a P.O. box and a four-way stop for farms and fields and cows, and we're just waiting for a car to drive by just so you can wave hello, hello. Staring at a starry night sky, Lord, you've been dreaming of some place that you got to go. Hello. Till that day comes, I'll be here, alone without a care. Nobody, nobody, nowhere. Waiting for a car to drive by just so you can wave hello, hello. Staring at a starry night sky, you've been dreaming of some place that you got to go. Hello. Till that day comes, I'll be here, alone without a care. Nobody, 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 ooh, from nowhere. Waiting for a car to drive by just so you can wave hello.
You're listening to East Tennessee's own WDVX Blue Plate Special. We're going to get one more from Will here. But before we do that, just a reminder, make sure to come on back right here at Visit Knoxville Visitor Center on Monday for Newfound Gap along with Sarah Gale Meach. And as always, there is a bucket over by the elevator there that has donations. A few dollars in the bucket keeps the good music rolling right here on East Tennessee's own WDVX. And as always, shaking howdy with Will after the show. And once again, if you want to find out more information about where he is and what he's got going on, best ways are willkimbrough.com and Instagram is will_Kimbrough. So Will, would you take us on home with one more today?
Yeah, I'm going to do another song for my new record. This song's called When This Is All Over. And I was writing with a friend of mine who, right in the middle of pandemic shutdown, he's a California boy, and he moved to El Paso, Texas, because his son's mother moved there because she has a big extended family in El Paso. And so he had to make a decision to do the right thing and be there for his son and move somewhere where he couldn't really go anywhere or do anything or meet anybody during spring 2020. And but he was just as happy as can be because he knew he did the right thing. And now he's with his kids still, and he and his wife are getting along great. I mean, his ex-wife. And so it's like this real inspiration for me during that time was to talk to my friend Rich McCulley. And we wrote this song together over the phone one day. He said, man, when this is all over, I'm going to hug your neck so hard, I might not ever let you go. And I was like, that's the first line to our song, Rich. So this is... When this is all over, I'm gonna hug your neck so hard, I just might not ever let you go. I'm gonna have a celebration in my own backyard. I'm inviting everyone I know. When this is all over, I'm gonna be a different man. I'll never see the world the same again. I'm gonna keep my eyes wide open, try and understand, show a lot more love to all my friends. Well, we're learning how to live, and we're feeling some regret. Ain't it high time to forgive? Oh, but never to forget. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When this is all over, I'm gonna take a big long drive. I'm gonna get behind the wheel away I go. And with the windows down and the music loud, it's good to be alive. I'm inviting everyone I know. I'm inviting everyone I know. I'm inviting everyone I know. When this is all over. I hope y'all have a beautiful day, and I do have my new record for sale over there if anybody wants, or also my old ones. So and go out and listen to that Jimmy Buffett record, Equal Strain on All Parts. It's a beautiful record, and I helped write 5 songs and played all over it and sang all over it, and I'm real proud of it. I'm real proud of my new record, For the Life of Me, and I'll see y'all on the road somewhere. Y'all take care, and listen to WDVX. It's an awesome radio station. Peace.
Make sure to join us next time for more real live music on East Tennessee's own WDVX. Y'all have a great day.